Home, brought to you by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
All right, everybody, on a previous episode of House to Home, we were talking about construction and we were talking about some of the fees that might apply and some of the charges that you may not think. So Liz and Gina are joining us once more from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam. And Gina, you were actually saying in your own experience with your house, you were nice enough to share with us that you got hit with a $40,000 estimate, right?
Yeah.
Not a bill per se, but an estimate that you were not expecting.
Yeah, well, you know, so I knew enough to start with the bank. It always starts with the money. You got to know what you're going to be able to spend. So I did that. So I had the budget. We got a contractor. We had the building plans. We started construction. And during the occupancy permit phase, so when we got our building permit stamped, GWA made a note that you should connect your water. So I'm literally 2 lots away from the main road. So they had said you got to connect to the main road. You can't connect like to your neighbor's line because it was only a 2-inch line. And there's regulations now about water pressure, what size of a line you can connect to. So we saw that in the permit. Yeah, we did. We saw the notes. But who would think it would be a $40,000 bill, right? So we thought, oh, we'll worry about it when the house is ready and I'll go apply for my water meter. I'll worry about it then. So the house was done. The contractor, as a consumer, the contractor makes it your responsibility to connect water and power. So when the house is ready, you have to go and do all that. So house is ready. I call the contractor to say I need somebody licensed to install the water line. My contractor isn't licensed to install the water line. There are some contractors that are. Mine wasn't. So I called a few contractors to come out and give me the quote. So they looked at the plans and they knew what it meant. So they go out there and measure, and then I get the quotes. And $35,000 to $40,000 later, I'm like, I guess I'm not moving into this house.
And that was not part of your original budget.
That was not
part of it.
And by the way, at that point, you're already done. I mean, you probably spent that budget like a few months ago, right?
Well, we also know that the two of you are the queens of real estate, and you guys make, a $1 kajillion a month, but that's a lot of money.
Not
still.
at all. But when you're building, always plan to be going over budget. Okay, always plan on that.
Contingency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The rule is you're going to go over budget. That's the rule. So of course we were over budget. So when I saw that quote, then that was a light bulb that went off. And I said to myself, what about the people who are doing this, who are not in the business, who don't know?
That's right.
So I had a few things that I did. I made it work, but only because I did a lot of homework, went through all the rules and regulations. So, I was able to work through the system, and I found ways to get it done. But so there are certain things you've got to look for. How many inches do you have running through your area? What is GWA going to allow you to bring in? Is it a 4-inch line or a 6-inch line? Because 2-inch lines won't work anymore. Where do they want you to connect this new line? Just because you have water running in front of your property doesn't mean that's where they're going to allow you to connect to.
Well, of course, hindsight being 2020, Liz, if you could do things differently, I'm sure, because Gina's already shared, she had to go back and do her homework kind of like after the fact.
So there's a couple things. For someone who's out there looking to build, I think there are 2 things. One, you find a contractor that could do all of that. I mean, some people want to do certain parts of it, but check the contractor. Are they certified to get all those items? But again, remember, it's factored into the cost. You want to make sure they can connect the water, they can do the due diligence. Some of them will, some of them won't. So if they're not willing to do the waterworks and all the permitting, some of the water where the connections are, then you as an owner would have to do some of that. So again, find a contractor that could do from A to Z, but make sure you check the contract and everything is factored in. Because sometimes they'll say, yeah, here's the contract, but they left some of the items out. And then by the time you're done, they'll turn back and look at you and say, okay, that's your responsibility.
So how about contractors, just so that we as consumers don't get, what we might feel is, oh, I didn't anticipate that, or, the contractor, didn't exactly say that. How about if the contractor subcontracts like a variety of services?
Some of them do that.
They might say, I can lay the concrete or set up the rebar, but I'm going to subcontract the electrical.
The electrical or the connections to the water, they can subcontract that, but it'll be packaged into it. So you have to make sure you look at the contract and ask the questions, keep asking the questions. is this included, is this included? And then look at the dollars and cents, how it's broken down, who's handling what. So you want to make sure everything is delineated in your agreement between you and the contractor.
And you know, if you've got a family member or friend who's built already, go to them, buy them a cup of coffee and pick their brains.
At the very least, if,
At
not,
the very
if not a
least.
steak dinner.
That's right.
And the other critical
Yeah.
thing is you want to do is if you have a list of contractors, you want to go out and inspect the homes that they built before. You want to look at the designs. You want to look at the
Yeah.
quality of
That's
the
their
work.
portfolio,
You
per
want
se.
to look at exactly what they're going to deliver to you, because if this is a representation of the house they build, you're expecting the same quality.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you. And Gina, thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, that was very big of you to do that. And hopefully, you know, your
Mistakes could be
mistakes.
someone else.
I didn't want to use that word, but
benefit.
thank you. Yeah, exactly. People can learn from you, and certainly,
no, I-
certainly that's
yeah.
part of what you do now as a realtor
Yeah.
is you pass on your knowledge to people,
Yeah.
Yes.
so that they won't make the same mistake. So thank you
That's
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching.